Jackson County, it's now time for your 2026 Jackson County Junior Livestock Show, Steer and Heifer Show. And we'd like to say welcome to each and every one of you all. Moms and dads, thank you for all the great help you've given our exhibitors. Grandmas and grandpas, thank you also. It takes a village to do what we've done the last 3 days, and we couldn't do it without all of you all, great supporters. You know, ladies and gentlemen, as farmers and ranchers and in an agricultural world, there's things I do believe that we do each and every day, no matter what our age is. We always honor God and we always honor country. And right now, I'd like to bring to the microphone for our invocation, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tilden Smith from Navajo FFA is going to give our invocation. Ladies and gentlemen, would y'all please stand and bow your head?
Please bow and join me in a moment of prayer. Father God, I thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I thank you for the chance to show your wonderful creation and display our hours of hard work. God, please bless the families that support us, and please guide us and protect us today. In your name we pray. Amen.
You can give him a round of applause. It takes a lot, guys, and I encourage these kids to get behind the microphone every chance we can. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is our 250th year celebration of the greatest country in the world, where we get to live freely. We get to make our decisions, and also we get to honor the greatest symbol of freedom. And we do it by placing our right hand over our heart and singing our national anthem. Oh, thank you for that round of applause. Well, right now, before we get any further, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give away a few awards. Our Jackson County Stalker Program Awards, and I'm going to call up each participant of each one of our groups, and we're going to start with our steers. And if they're here, we'll have them line up right here in front of the stage, and then we'll announce our winners. You know, I'm going to tell you the rules real first. The Jackson County Livestock Stalker Program is judged on a very simple rubrics. The rankings are based on 1/3 score from the gross profit, 1/3 score from the average daily gain, and 1/3 score from records placing. And if there's a tie, the tie will be broken from the records placing. And all these young exhibitors, participants have raised some livestock, they've sold them, and they've kept all the records. And we've taught each and every one of them to be very detailed in those records. Well, right now, I'd like to introduce to you all your steer participants. In no certain order, I'd like to start from Altus, Emma Gallagher. Also from Altus, Ren Johnson. From Navajo, Samantha Howard. And from Duke, Riley Miranda. Also at this time, I'd like to, if possible, to bring together our soccer program committee members. If any of them are here, where's Mr. Reed Abernathy, Derek Dishman, Caden McCombs, and Colby Crawford? How about a round of applause to our committee for doing a great job of making this all work? Now I'm going to start with the placings, working from the bottom to the top. 5th place overall in our steer stalker program from Duke, Miss Riley Miranda. How about a round of applause? 4th overall from Altus. Put your hands together for Ren Johnson. 3rd overall from Navajo, Samantha Howard. 2nd overall from Navajo, Alexandra Howard. And your first place winner in your steer division of the Jackson County Junior Livestock Show Stalker Program from Altus, Emma Gallagher. How about a big round of applause? And we'll give her awards. We'll get pictures taken. She also, they tell me, won the Stalker Steer Records. So how about a big round of applause? She's going to get 2 banners, backpack. If you're in the heifer division, stay right out here too. Now at this time, I'm going to introduce your heifer participants in no certain order. From Duke, how about a round of applause to Grant Milner. From Altus, Ren Johnson. Stay right here, Ren. From Altus, Josie Jones. From Navajo, Alexandra Howard. From Navajo, Samantha Howard. From Altus, Tate Straub. And also from Altus, Noah Straub. Well, how about a round of applause to all them participants? We appreciate them. Starting from bottom and working their way up, 7th place will go to Noah Straub from Altus. 6th place, you can give him a round of applause. You can be proud for him. 6th place from Altus, Tate Straub. 5th place, also from Altus, Ren Johnson. 4th place from Navajo, Alexandra Howard. 3rd place from Navajo, Samantha Howard. 2nd place from Altus, Josie Jones. And 1st place in the heifer division of the Stalker program belongs to, from Duke, Oklahoma, Grant Milner. How about a round of applause to all them, ladies and gentlemen? Not only a round of applause to all of our participants, but give another round of applause to our committee that we couldn't do it without them, guys. We appreciate them very much. Who's your record? And also, your records winner is Mr. Grant Milner. We're going to get a quick picture. And as we do that, Michaela Morris, where are you at? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring to the show ring at this time, while we got a minute, we're lining up our steer and heifer exhibitors. I'd like to introduce to you all from Chickasha, Oklahoma. She is running for Southwest Area Vice President. And so she wants to share a few words with you all. Michaela Morris.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michaela Morris, and I proudly represent the Chickasha FFA chapter. As a candidate for your next Southwest Area Vice President, I am so excited to be here with all of you guys today, and good luck to all the exhibitors out there and all your hard work. I can't wait to see what y'all put in this year to your animals. And with that being said, I'm here today to get to know you on a more personal level. I don't want to be that unfamiliar face walking across the stage at state convention in May. So I want to know you on a personal basis. Come up to me, come talk to me. I'll probably bug you here and there in a few minutes. So I'll just see you guys around, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Michaela. Give her another big round of applause, guys. We appreciate her very much. All right. It's time for what everybody's been waiting on. Who would like to see all of our great exhibitors? Here we go. Turn it up, Miss Mindy. Let's have some fun. Let's get it started. And we're going to start with our cattle exhibitors from ACA 4-H. Put your hands together for Kenyon Walterscheid. Also from ACH 4-H, Griffin Cowboy Ritchie. From Altus 4-H, I'm just going to call her my best friend in the world, Miss Everly Bush. Oh, you talk about a competitor in the show ring. I've watched her do it many times. From Altus FFA, Abigail Jones. All right, here comes Big Sister Smiley, Bryn Bush. Please put your hands together from Altus FFA, Case Walterscheid. Also from Altus FFA, Ford Freeman. Oh, he's got the strut. From Altus FFA, an all-around showman the last 2 days, Miss Journey Danner. A young lady we seen just a minute ago in the Stalker program. She's always a tough competitor. From Altus FFA, Josie Jones. We're still in that Altus FFA chapter. There's a bunch of them. Please put your hands for Creed. I'm sorry, yeah. How about Kinsey Abernathy? We'll do the girls first. Also, from Altus FFA, you're going to have to show her up now, buddy. Creed Abernathy. And our last representative from Altus FFA. Put your hands together for Miss Shelby Spradlin. And we're going to move to two individuals, two exhibitors from the Navajo FFA. And we're going to start with a young man that's a tough in the show ring. He's serious. Mr. Camden Dorton. And last but not least, of our steer and heifer exhibitors here today, the Jackson County Junior Livestock Show. He did our invocation. He did an outstanding job. Please put your hands together from Navajo FFA, Tilden Smith. Put your hands together for him one more time. Let them hear you, the rock stars here on Sunday afternoon. All you exhibitors, step right up here in front of our stage. We're going to take a group photo. We're going to let everybody get ready to go back. All right, we're going to start with our heifer drive right now, our heifer division. So Class 1 Angus heifers, Class 1 Charolais, Class 1 Keys, Class 1 Maines. Y'all be in the holding area. Well, while we got getting ready for that, I'd like to introduce our great judge, ladies and gentlemen. He's an ag teacher in Keys, Oklahoma, where there's a commercial herd of livestock and or cattle, and also a small flock of club lambs. He was on the national livestock team for Oklahoma State University in 2019. He has a degree from there in ag education. He's married with his beautiful wife named Morgan and his son Kason, and he was a student teacher here in Altus FFA. Please put your hands together for Mr. Cash Allen, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's bring into the show ring our very first class of heifers. This will be the breed drive. It'll be the Angus breed drive. One exhibitor in this class, Ford Freeman.
Well, first and foremost, good afternoon, and man, excited to get down here. We got to spend a short juncture in my life down here, and very, very thankful for it, for the people that I met and the role models that I got to be around, and the community that you guys have down here is second to none. And man, I remember the kids were always awesome down here, and it was a direct reflection to you guys as parents, ag teachers, and leaders within this community, and have a great amount of respect and admiration for this part of the world. I think an awesome way to get started out in our heifer show. And young man, single entry Angus heifer has some highlights to her. Good in terms of shape of her head, awesome in terms of her top line balance. I think within the particular breed, man, she's opened up in terms of the design of her body cavity, big in terms of her pin set. If we get a little picky on her, maybe just a little bit calculated in the way that she takes to the surface, but whenever she props up and puts that kind of look together, young man's doing an awesome job. My compliments to him and his family. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Your Class 1 Angus heifers breed champion belongs to Ford Freeman. We're going to bring in our Charolais Class 1. This will be a breed drive. Our one exhibitor, Tilden Smith.
Really nice single entry Charolais composite the young man has right here. A heifer that definitely, as she takes to the surface, awesome in terms of her foot shape, depth of heel. I think that her mobility out of her hock is very good. Still has the right kind of sweep in terms of her mid-belly and her flank line progression right there. And very, very waspy in terms of her neck attachment and the way she projects it out of the front side of her body. In a perfect world, we could maybe set her down in terms of her tail head ever so slightly. But, man, the young man's doing an awesome job of getting out and presented. Let's give him a big hand.
Your Charolais breed, your Charolais heifer breed champion belongs to Tilden Smith from Navajo FFA. We're going to move right down the list. We're going to go to our key heifer division. This is a breed drive. I need our main Class 1 in the holding area. Go ahead and take our Simmental Class 1 to the holding area.
Very nice single entry key the young lady brings to us, and kind of as you read into maybe some mating options down the road, I think this heifer has a great deal of value. She's dense in terms of her body shape. She's heavy bone, very, very powerful in terms of her essence. Maybe as we compare back to some of the other heifers that we've seen today, I'd like to see her just a little bit more feminine in terms of her presence up front. But man, that is a powerful, heavy-boned heifer that's very, very muscular in terms of her kind. Young lady's doing a really good job. Let's give her a big hand.
Your key heifer breed champion belongs to Journey Danner from Altus FFA. We're going to move right into the main, Class 1 main. This is a breed drive also. And then we'll have our Simmental division. And then our commercial heifer division.
Young lady brings us a nice single entry right here. I think, man, stamped with cow character in terms of the design to her forerib and her mid-body spread. Incredibly powerful whenever you talk about her from a substance and dimension standpoint. Maybe at the same time, we could just whittle her out ever so slightly right there at the base of her shoulder. At times in motion, maybe she can kind of get her tail head up and have just a little bit more hook than ideal. But, man, that thing is a generator in terms of her natural body substance and shape that she has. Young lady's doing a good job. Let's give her a big hand.
Your breed champion main heifer belongs to Josie Jones from Altus FFA. Another big round of applause for her, would you please? We're going to move to our Simmental heifer breed drive. There's 3 exhibitors in this class. It'll be Griffin Ritchie, Tilden Smith, Shelby Spradlin.
Hey, this is an awesome set of Scimitals. A young man that leads off up front. Man, her presence alone is very, very captivating. Awesome in terms of her neck attachment. Very, very conservative right there through the floor of her chest. And then yet to still be that immature and juvenile in terms of her look up front. She is so good in terms of sweep to her mid-rib, back into her flank line progression. I think as we study the cattle at the surface, the shape of her feet are good. I think that she hinges the right way and yet puts together an elite look of balance and quality. And then yet from a substance and dimension standpoint, I still think that she's pride apart enough to go ahead and call her a champion in this particular breed. Young man does a very, very good job. Young lady back here at the Brockle face, in terms of one, just substance and dimension and just the character that she has as far as her maternal quality is very, very good. Massive in terms of her forerib and the way that it hooks up right there out of the backside of her shoulder. I think that heifer's incredible from the dimensional standpoint and the way that she feeds back into her pin set. I'll be the first one to tell you, is she just as tricked out and as wild up front, and I'll be a little bit more forgiving on that whenever we talk about seeing these things closer towards their end point. Just main thing for me that limits her as we study her at the surface. She's got a hinge a little looser in the way that she takes off out of her rear skeleton, but man, from there forward, there's a lot of neat pieces in that heifer. Young man's red heifer, in terms of her look up front, man, she is geek neck, flat shouldered, and good in the way that she hooks up right there. Young man, just in relation to her frame, I got a softener in terms of her flank line progression, maybe gets a little tighter whenever we study her at the surface, but man, he brought one that came to play in terms of freshness, quality, and presentation. An awesome trio right there. Let's give all those kids a big hand.
On your Scimitol heifer drive, they sort it out like this. Your breed champion belongs to ACA 4-H member Griffin Ritchie. Your reserve breed champion from Altus FFA, Shelby Spradlin. And third overall in the Scimitol heifer drive from Navajo FFA, Tilden Smith. And we're going to go to our commercial heifer drive. This is the breed drive. There's 3 exhibitors in the class: Tilden Smith, Journey Danner, Abigail Jones.
really nice pair of commercials, and maybe apples to oranges in terms of as we project these things on in terms of production value. For me, I'm always committed to a feminine presence whenever we're talking about in our breeding heifer show, and that's what captivates the young man up front. Very, very good. And the way she attaches, I like the sweep and shape to her mid-body spread. I think as we study her at the surface, she's still plenty comfortable and athletic, and yet just her weight distribution and her balance up front are very, very good. If we get picky on that heifer, I'd like to level her up out of her pin set, maybe set her down in her loin ever so slightly. Well, I think that's keeping the trees from seeing the big forest whenever they put those kind of pieces together up front and still have the right kind of maternal value in terms of their center body shape. My compliments to that young man and his family. Young lady's heifer that comes in second is very, very interesting in the idea of what she can do maybe in future show steers and things upon that, because that is a wide gauge, big square back laid into one. She's got big feet that get out and work, and yet I still think that she still has the right kind of structural integrity. Young lady, for me, unfortunately, whenever I study her up front, not as attractive in terms of the shape of her head, just a little bit more shoulder and chest than ideal. Didn't read her just with the same kind of freshness and presence of that one that went out ahead, but fundamentally speaking, some awesome pieces in that young lady's project right there. Let's give both those kids a big hand.
In that commercial heifer drive, your breed champion belongs to Tilden Smith from Navajo FFA, and your reserve breed champion from Altus FFA goes to Abigail Jones. How about a round of applause for him, would you please? One more time. He's going to go to our grand drive of our heifer division. In our grand drive from the Angus class, your breed champion, Ford Freeman. From the Charolais class, your breed champion was Tilden Smith. From the Key class, your breed champion was Journey Danner. From the Maine, your breed champion was Josie Jones. From the Simmental class, your breed champion was Griffin Ritchie. And from the commercial heifer class, your breed champion was Tilden Smith. How about a round of applause to all of our exhibitors? We're in the grand drive of our heifer division of the Jackson County Junior Livestock Show. Destiny, calm down. Look like you're coaching baseball.
Man, what an awesome heifer show. And I know that, not to sound like a broken record, I feel like you hear this everywhere that we go. Maybe the numbers weren't extensive, but the quality is. And guys, I don't think you truly understand. We just had our regional heifer show yesterday, and there was over 180 head females shown there. And I tell you what, we could take 4 or 5 of these things and drop them in, and it would have made it really, really interesting yesterday. And that's something that I talk about with people, even though that maybe our numbers aren't there. Everybody that's still going in is going the extra mile and doing all the little things, and it's becoming harder to sort because we're making them so good nowadays. And my hat's off to you guys in the way that you're getting these things put together, because they are very, very good representatives of their breed. I think that they're good representatives of just the kind that we all want to emulate and replicate in terms of the things that they do. I think it kind of comes down to a 2-horse race, and there's a pair of them. In terms of their look from the side and their structural ability is very, very good. And I keep coming back to myself, which one of them probably just gives me a little bit more of the warm and fuzzies in terms of the way that they're constructed up front. And I think our reserve is maybe answers the call in terms of just a little bit more genuine rib cage and natural stoutness underneath. But I think a very, very good heifer show. If you would, let's give all these kids a big round of applause. We'll get you a lineup.
Your grand champion heifer belongs to ACA 4-H member Griffin Ritchie. How about a big round of applause for him? And we're going to drop in that reserve breed champion Simmental heifer, Shelby Spradlin. We'll pick our reserve grand champion. Your reserve grand champion comes to us from the Charlotte class, Mr. Tilden Smith from Navajo FFA. How about a big round of applause for him? As we will now line him up for an overall sale order. Third overall will be Shelby Spradlin. From the Simmental, we need to bring in Tilden Smith Simmental. Oh, we can scratch him. You're right. We're good. So the pot's right. We do need the reserve breed champion Abigail Jones from the commercial class. Fourth overall from the main class, Josie Jones, Altus FFA member. The ring's still right. Fifth overall belongs to from the Angus class, Ford Freeman. Sixth overall will be Abigail Jones from the commercial class. And seventh overall will be Journey Danner from the Key class. How about a big round of applause to all these heifer exhibitors We'll give you all about 5 minutes. Give you all about 5 minutes. We'll go to our prospect drive. We're going to go right into our prospect drive. There's only one exhibitor in it. Be Tilden Smith. From Navajo FFA. I'll need Class 1 of the market steers. Class 1 Angus, Class 1 Charolais to the holding area, please. I don't know who brought cinnamon rolls, but thank you very much. It's not like I just left a dozen at my house, but she cooked 3 dozen. I mean, but we do appreciate the cinnamon rolls very much.
Nice single entry prospect the young man brings us, and I tell you what, you might go ask him later. This calf's got a real cool story, but in terms of his phenotypically from the side right now, man, that is a good-headed, long-neck calf that's conservative in terms of his chest, yet he's square in terms of his shape out of the backside of his blade. Young man's doing a nice job getting him desensitized and getting him ready for town for whenever the bigger days come. Let's give this young man a big hand.
Your prospect champion belongs to Tilden Smith from Navajo FFA. Big round of applause for them, would you please? Chase, we ready to go on? All right. We're going to go right to our market steer drive. Class number 1 is going to be our Angus class. This will be a breed drive with 1 exhibitor in this class. Charolais class, you need to be at the gate. Shorthorn class, you need to be in the holding area.
nice single entry Angus to kick off our steer show. And man, this guy's a chunk. You study him at the surface, big in terms of his foot size, huge in terms of his barrel, and you get directly on top of that calf. He is very, very big and gnarly in terms of the shape right out of the backside of his blade. Looks real aggressive in terms of shape of his loin, and yet whenever you get your hands on him, that calf is still mellow. His weight distributions and proportion are appropriate. If we're going to get picky on him, yes, I would like to see that guy maybe just a little bigger in terms of his kind, in terms of his lift off the ground. But I tell you what he represents in terms of muscular and wide-bodied cattle that are still mellow to the touch and have some proportions about them. Young lady's doing an awesome job. Let's give her a big hand.
All your breed champion Angus market steer belongs to Brenton Bush from Altus FFA. Thank you for that round of applause as we move to Class 1 Charolais. There is 4 exhibitors in this class. Kenyon Walterscheid, Ford Freeman, Brenton Bush, and Josie Jones.
really good set of Charolais, and I think both these up here on the top end are real high rent in what that they bring. And for me, the longer that I kind of study them from the side, I'll be the first one to tell you our champion's got a little bit of a hickey right there in the middle of his back and wanting to creep up right there. But studying that guy and the way that he's built up front in terms of his neck attachment, how smooth his shoulder lays on the front side of his body cavity, and even though he is clipped off, I truly do think that his chest and his lower forerib and sternum probably blend together just a little neater right there. That calf's a little bit more opened up in terms of his chest width, the way that his shoulder, knee, and foot kind of functions off the front side of his body. He's got a big curl in terms of his lower twist and quarter, and you get on top of that guy, man, he is big in terms of his shape up high, still very mellow and appropriate in terms of his proportions. Young lady's calf that comes out in second, man, that guy is very, very impressive whenever you get directly on top of him in terms of the shape of his loin, the spread out of his hip. He might actually be longer in terms of set out of his hip in relation to the one that goes out ahead of him. Heavy duty in terms of his foundation whenever you study. At the same time, maybe just a fraction more forward in the build of his shoulder. I don't read him just as long and as extended in terms of his look up front. And I even know that he's got the hair on right there. It's only going to get a little bit better whenever we clip that guy off. I still think, though, he's maybe just a little bit more compact in terms of his look up front, but awesome in terms of his rib cage. His barrel is big. His back is very, very appropriate. I like what he represents. Maybe just gets outclassed in terms of his look up front right there to the floor of his chest and length of neck of that one that goes out ahead of him, but a very good pair of cattle in those regards. Young man's calf that comes out next, man, he's expressive. He's high cut ability. He's big in terms of the spread out of the backside of his blade. Just at the same time, maybe a little bit more hollow and drier right there in terms of his flank line. I didn't think his underline blended in him quite as good. Maybe just a little rounder in the way that he's built off both ends. But man, that is a good headed steer that's high cut ability and very, very shapely. Young man that's going to come out next, heavy bone, dead level in terms of his upper skeleton balance. I like that calf's length of neck. Just unfortunately for me was whenever we set him into motion, a little bit more upright in the way that he's built off both ends. I thought whenever I got my hands on him, he was still just a little bit bare to the finish whenever we get over his forerib and work our way back. Really good set of Charolais. Let's give those kids a big hand.
On that breed drive of them Charolais Market steers, first place belongs to Josie Jones from Altus FFA. Second place, breed champion belongs to Josie Jones, Altus FFA. Reserve breed champion belongs to Bryn Bush from Altus FFA. Third overall, Kenyon Walterscheid from ACA 4-H. And fourth overall, Ford Freeman from Altus FFA. How about another round of applause for them Charolais exhibitors right there? Doing a great job. We're going to move to the Shorthorn class. This will be the breed drive for the Shorthorn Market steers. We have 3 exhibitors in this class.
I think a really good class. And I tell you what, I think that there's some big differences in here, and it's where you want to draw your line in the sand and kind of maybe establish yourself in somewhere you'll tolerate things in a certain way. And I'll tell you, to be 100% transparent. If we could put all three of them together, we would maybe really be cooking with some gas. And it's as I kind of have the conversation in my head of what are we willing to tolerate and maybe what we would like to change. And as we just put things aside and sit here and think about just fundamentally, young man steer up front's probably got the most honest composition with the rawest shape that's going to stamp the most appropriate number. I think as you study the cattle in terms of the way that their body cavities is designed, that's truly the wide-chested, big-barreled calf that's very, very impressive in terms of his shape up high. He's big and stout in terms of his pin set, and I felt like of the particular remaining trio, he was maybe a little bit more appropriate in terms of his uniformity of finish. I think his upper skeleton balance is good. His neck ties in great. I'll be the first one to tell you, I got to see that calf motor around the ring a little bit better. He's a little bit more open right there at the point of his shoulder, and maybe for how uniform he is in terms of his finish, I'd like to see that guy come up with just a little bit heavier set in terms of what he weighs. Young man steer that comes in second, the kind of complete opposite. A very moderate, big-bellied steer that's incredible in terms of the shape of his barrel and the spread that he has. I asked myself, does that calf have enough just raw shape whenever we get on top of him? I'd like to see him counter his finish with just a little bit harder, denser shape whenever I get my hands on him. But man, that is a big pin, loose structure steer that's mellow handling and very, very practical and easy feeding. I need to see him a little bit more electric in terms of his look up front. The young man's done a very nice job feeding that calf. Steer that really throws me for a loop is the young lady's calf that's going to come in third. Man, that is a big outline, stretchy rascal that sets the stage in terms of his look up front. It is very, very good. At the same time, maybe a little bit more vertical in the build to his shoulder, and to be weighing 1440, I need to see a little bit more chub on that guy. Just open him up in terms of his lower forerib and just man him up right down his back. But man, that guy's got an incredible presence and a very, very appropriate set in terms of his length of hip and his balance. Just need to see that guy farther along in terms of fat cover. Really, really good group. Let's give those kids a big hand.
The Shorthorn Market Steer Breed Drive. Your breed champion belongs to Case Walterscheid from Altus FFA. Your reserve breed champion belongs to Camden Dorton from Navajo FFA. And third overall, Everly Bush from Altus 4-H. We're going to go to the Cross Market Steer class. There's 3 classes altogether. Then we'll have a breed drive. Class number 1, Journey Danner from Altus FFA.
Young lady brings us a nice single entry to start off our cross division. A steer that's got some neat pieces. He's good in terms of his joint work and the shape of his feet, extra long and extended in terms of his look up front. I like the line that he draws in terms of his upper skeleton. Push comes to shove. I need to see that guy a little bit more robust in terms of his forerib design. Maybe he wants to empty out in terms of his twist from behind. Young lady's definitely got a neat profiling calf with an appropriate build. My compliments to her. Let's give her a big hand.
Your winner of Class 1 Cross Market Steers belongs to Journey Danner, Altus FFA. We're going to move right into Class 2 with 2 exhibitors in this class. You know, the Jackson County Junior Livestock Show Committee kind of started something new, honoring all of our seniors. If you look behind the announcer stand, stop by and look at the banners that tell you all of our graduating seniors from the county this year. Stop by, check them out. It's something new that we started.
Really nice pair of crossbreds, and the young man's black calf up front is definitely just a monster whenever you get on top of him. As bold and as robust as we can ask in terms of his forerib, right out of the backside of his blade. He is chock full of just natural spread and raw horsepower. You study him from the three-quarter view, big and opened up. And in terms of his pin bone, a wide gauge muscular calf that is very, very appropriate in terms of his feedability and practicality. Yes, whenever we take him to the surface, we could see him just a little bit more secure and athletic in those regards, but man, whenever they represent that kind of easy feeding look with that kind of spread and natural horsepower, young man definitely not one that came to play. Young lady smoke steer, that thing does answer the call. He is awesome in terms of his length and neck. His character up front is very, very good. Awesome in terms of where he sets the floor of his chest. His underline balance is good. Young lady, just whenever we study him in terms of foot size and just raw punch in terms of his body cavity, not as opened up and as powerful as that calf that goes out ahead of him. Really nice pair of steers, though. My compliments to both those kids. Let's give them a big hand.
Oh, thank you for the round of applause. Class 2 cross market steers. First place belongs to Creed Abernathy from Altus FFA. Second place will go to Abigail Jones from Altus FFA. We're going to move to our third and final class of these cross market steers. There's 2 exhibitors in this class. We will have a breed drive, and then we'll go to our grand drive.
really good pair of them. And I'll tell you this much, if that guy is next set and his attitude doesn't tell you he's a rattlesnake, I don't know what will, because that guy is awesome in terms of the way that he's constructed up front. And yet to still be a calf that has that kind of presence and the way that he's constructed up front, I still think that calf comes with enough in terms of muscularity. Study him at the surface, and man, he is panther-like in the way that his feet take to the sawdust, props together, and puts an elite look of proportions together. Like I said, maybe want to see that guy just a little better in terms of his attitude. He's not just the craziest thing in terms of his mid-body spread, but man, I tell you what, just reads with a ton of quality whenever we break down just fundamental pieces in him, and yet ties on some extra intangibles. Young man steer that comes out in second might be a fraction more robust in terms of his forerib. He's got a big spread out of his back, and yet that guy has been finished with an awesome touch whenever you get directly on top of him. At the same time, rock forward just a little bit more right there at the base of his shoulder, not as long and as wild in terms of his look up front. Need to set him down in his tail head and see him just motor a little better. Man, fundamentally in terms of his body cavity, his skeletal width, and his bulk, that guy came to play right there. Very, very good class of crossbreds. Let's give both these young people a big hand.
Oh, how about a round of applause of Class 3 Crossbred Market Steers? First place, Kinsey Abernathy from Navajo FFA. And second place, Camden Dorton from Navajo FFA. We're going to go to the breed drive of these Crossbred Market Steers. From Class 1, Journey Danner. From Class 2, Creed Abernathy. And Class 3, Kinsey Abernathy. I think a really good set of crossbreds, and it kind of comes down between Class 2 and Class 3, taking nothing away from the young lady that comes out of Class 1. It's a very attractive steer that's loose structured, maybe at the same time. Didn't bring the same kind of just carcass fundamentals to the punch, to the party that these two back here did, and I kind of put it through my mind as I'm watching them go. Young man that comes out of the second class, that guy is a monster as we described him in terms of his rib cage, his spread, just his natural horsepower in terms of width and dimension. It is incredible and sets the stage at a very, very high level. You got to ask yourself, is he just as captivating in terms of his presence from the side as another one in here? The young lady that comes out of Class 3, that guy is as wild in terms of the neck set that he has. His comfort level to his skeleton is very, very good. Maybe you want to ask yourself, is he just horsey enough in terms of right in behind his blade? That's maybe where we'd alter that guy ever so slightly. And I sit back and I put things into perspective and ask myself, which one am I going to drive home thinking about in terms of having some far-reaching pieces? And I think that he still is good enough, fundamentally speaking. Young lady that comes out of the last class will have your champion. Let's give her a round of applause. All your breed champion cross market steer is going to belong to Kinsey Abernathy from Altus FFA. We're going to drop in Camden Dorton. We'll pick our reserve breed champion. Your reserve breed champion comes to us from Class 2, belongs to Creed Abernathy from Altus FFA. So we need to drop in Abigail Jones. We'll finish out our sale order, preliminary sale order, and then we'll have our grand drive. Third overall will be Camden Dorton. Fourth overall will be Abigail Jones. Fifth overall in the crossbred market steers will be Journey Danner. How about a round of applause to all of them one more time, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we need to get ready to line up for our grand drive, our market steers. Remind y'all we'll need backdrop pictures of our grand and reserve grands. Also, we'll have our showmanship winners. We'll need backdrop pictures of them. All right, looks like we're for our grand drive. Our market steers from the Angus class, it'll be Bryn Bush. From the Charlet class, it'll be Josie Jones. From the Shorthorn class, it'll be Case Walterscheid. From the cross class, it'll be Kinsey Abernathy. I need also today, before you all leave, exhibitors, I will need all steer and heifer, all exhibitors today will need to have their picture taken, and we're getting ready to set it up at the green screen backdrop. Well, every exhibitor needs their picture taken at the green screen backdrop. As we get ready to make our grand champion selection, we also are going to pick our preliminary sell order. So everybody needs to get ready and start bringing their livestock to the holding area, please.
Man, an awesome steer show, and you know, I don't necessarily consider myself wise or long enough in the tooth to be able to go on like a motivational grand drive speech, but I will tell you guys, hey, make sure that you're still doing what you're doing, because one of the biggest things that I fight back at the house in terms of trying to get growth and to keep this thing sustainable is to remind kids that there's things that are just as much fun that require no effort. You know, on Friday night, we'd rather go to the basketball game instead of maybe rinsing our calf and having them where they need to be in terms of our daily care, and remembering that you guys are still, there's things out there that are that enjoyable, but you will never find a bigger reward than doing what you're doing right now, because I was fortunate enough this year to become a dad, and, you know, me and my wife sat back and talk about, you know, the plans that we have for him and the things that we'd like for him to be able to do within this particular activity, and I tell her, I say, hey, I don't care what it is, the main thing is that we get to spend time with him, and you guys will never regret the moment that you got to spend this time in the barn with your family, your ag teachers, and things upon that nature, because in 15 years from now, nobody's going to remember how this shook out, but you're going to remember the connections, the people that you met, and that time that you got to spend with your loved ones. So always keep that in mind at the end of the day. And man, the way that this has evolved to be such a big game hunt and so much pressure on getting to take home the big banner at the end of the day, we kind of define our year off of that. And I tell those kids back at the house, if we did everything we could within our power to be able to set ourselves up for success, we can only control what we can control. And if we do that, I think that we had a successful project, whether we went out with a big banner or we had one that was fifth in class. As long as we did everything we could, didn't take any days off, that right there is my definition of success. So make sure that whenever you guys get done, that you go out there and you hug your loved ones that helped you, and don't forget where you came from, and just remember that this is a very enjoyable moment. You'll never be able to trade this thing for anything. That being said, let's give these kids a big round of applause, and I'll go get you a champion.
Your grand champion market steer belongs to Kinsey Abernathy from Altus FFA. We're going to bring in Camden Dorton and pick our reserve grand champion. Then we'll pick a preliminary sell order. And then we'll have our showmanship competition. Sorry, this is Creed Abernathy, I'm sorry. Your reserve grand champion belongs to Miss Bryn Bush from the Angus class. How about a big round of applause? All right, the ring is right. I said we were going to bring in Camden Dorton, and I apologize. It is actually Creed Abernathy from Altus. third overall will be Josie Jones. Oh, he's circle. I'm sorry. I apologize. Getting ahead. We got all day. We've only been here like no time at all. I'm going to wait till he shakes her hand, but about that third overall is going to be Josie Jones from the Charlet class. So we need to bring in our reserve breed champion, Charlet. She's going to be out, so we'll bring in our third overall, Charlet Canyon Walterscheid. I'm sorry, we need to bring in Ford Freeman. All right, we're bringing in Canyon Walterscheid, our third overall Charlet. You picked Creed Abernathy out of the cross class, fourth overall. And now I need Camden Dorton. He's going to take Camden Dorton, fifth overall. So I need Abigail Jones from the cross class. I need all my market steers in the Holden area. He takes Abigail Jones, sixth overall from the crosses. They're all done, so we're good. He's going to move to the shorthorn. He takes Case Walterscheid as seventh overall. I need to bring in Journey's Cross also. It's going to take Canyon Walterscheid. So I need Ford Freeman in. It's going to take Everly Bush from the Shorthorn. He's going to take Journey Danner. And then he'll take Ford Freeman. How about a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? All of our market steer exhibitors. We'll give you all just a few minutes and we'll get ready for our showmanship. We're going to start with our junior showman, 3rd grade through 6th grade. All right, let's get our showmanship. We're going to start with our junior showman, 3rd grade through 6th grade. Y'all.
Very good job by our juniors in terms of their eye contact. Fundamentally, they're doing the right things. Feet and leg accuracy is good. Maybe for me, there's one of them that maybe just in terms of their dancing partner wanting to cooperate a little bit more and keeping some composure and keeping them set. That's the young man up front. Let's give all these juniors a big hand.
All your junior showman today belongs to Mr. Griffin Ritchie from ACA 4-H. Big round of applause for him, would you please? All right, we're going to go to our intermediate, which is 7th grade through the 9th grade. 7th grade through the 9th grade. Intermediate showman. Make your way to the show ring, please. Every exhibitor today needs their picture taken in front of the green screen. We're going to do it in the show ring, they said, as soon as we get done with showmanship. We'll do it right here. Every exhibitor today has to have their picture taken. Every exhibitor. Intermediates, if you're ready, the show ring is yours. Marisol, will you please come back to the announcer stand?
really good set of intermediates, and for me, I think a group of them that fundamentally do a very, very exceptional job in terms of getting their calf put together. For me, I felt like there was an individual that was maybe just a little bit more alert in terms of that way that we managed our calf's front end balance, and yeah, we still kept them in line, kept our feet accuracy good. Whenever we needed to loin them, we've done a good job of being conscious of that. Young man right in front of me, let's give him a big hand.
All your champion showmen in the intermediate, put your hands together for Creed Abernathy from Altus FFA. All right, we're going to go to our senior showman. Be lining up. All right, as we get down to our final champion showman, let me remind you all, if you've brought your own chairs, we ask that you pick them up. Go ahead and take them home with you. You're more than welcome to bring them back tomorrow, but we've got to set this whole barn back up for our sale tomorrow, and we don't want to be responsible for your fold-up chairs. If not, they might end up in my trailer if they're good ones like you're sitting in, that old rocking one. Yep, it'll end up in my trailer because I lose them all the time throughout the year. So I just add to my collection, and then I don't have to buy new ones. Don't shake your head. It happens to him, too. My wife threatens to tie mine to me, so.
Outstanding job by you guys as seniors. A very, very polished group, and you know, 4 of them that you can tell has got some miles on them and some experience. And I think that it's a little bit harder to kind of split them because they don't necessarily make a mistake, and it kind of comes back to every time that we've seen them in the ring in terms of the way that they got their calf put together. Thought that this individual spacing was very good, and their ability to be effective with their time and get their calf put together in a very, very efficient manner. Young man right here in front of me is going to be your champion. Let's give him a hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, your champion showman and the winner of the Jim Bob Riddlesberger Memorial Traveling Trophy. Please put your hands together for Mr. Tilden Smith from the Navajo FFA. Great job. We're going to take backdrop pictures with all of our grand and reserve grand champions and our showmanship champions. We need backdrop pictures for them. All exhibitors, you need green screen backdrop pictures for the sale catalog tomorrow. So make sure we have to have those pictures. Thank you all. We appreciate you all very much. We'll see you tomorrow night. Dinner starts at 5. The sale will start shortly after that. So we thank you all very much. If you have a concession stand tab, make sure you take that. Ag teachers, we have a you all have a meeting in 15 minutes in the main office, please. Ag teachers, you'll have in about 15 minutes, you have a mandatory meeting, they tell me, in the main office.